We have the Killers album, Pressure Machine, as our album of the week. The back end of last week, I caught up with Brandon Flowers. It was lovely to chat with him again, and we'll be playing snippets of the interview throughout the week into some new music from them as well. It's really interesting. You know, he's saying it's the most candid I've had him in conversation, really, and it was just him, and he was saying, you know, for the first time faced with silence, it really reminded him of where he grew up in this sort of small town where not a lot happened, and he put pen to paper and all these songs just came out quite cathartically in that silence, and it resulted in the brand new album from the Killers. So anyway, time now to find out what happened when I caught up with Brandon Flowers, and this is all about their brand new record, Pressure Machine, and I can't wait for you to hear the new song we're going to play called Quiet Town. It's on the way next. Absolute Radio. Was there ever any moment where you thought, can I put this out into the Killers, or is this just a Brandon Flowers thing, or because they were so quiet, or was it so important to you to make this part of the catalogue of the Killers?
Yes, it was important. It could have started off that way, but eventually Dave Cooney, our guitar player, was able to start a couple of songs, and Ronnie's he lives about 10 minutes from me, so it would have been just wouldn't have been right to leave Ronnie out. And
awkward.
so we were able to collaborate. We were totally, it was a complete collaboration still.
Yeah, for sure. So let's rewind back now. How do you pronounce your hometown? Is it Nephi? Nephi. Okay, in Utah, right?
Right in the. It's almost it's exactly in the middle of Utah. Yeah.
Okay, talk me through it. What was it like being there? Because you were there when you were 10, is that right?
10 to 16, yeah.
The formative years.
Very formative, yeah. So a lot has been made of me leaving this place and waving the Las Vegas flag, but there was something about people using words like isolation and quarantine, and I started to think about what I felt like when I was there. And along with that came these characters that I remembered and these observations that I didn't even realize that, I had absorbed and was walking around with still. And I was able to sort of squeeze that out and chase it down. And so, yeah, I had a lot of emotion tied to experiences that I had, during those formative years in that town. And so I'm really happy with the album.
Yeah, it must have been like quite a cathartic thing for you to go back and kind of realize that and use it in a creative way like that.
It was really nice, yeah, and I just found a lot more empathy for people that I had, painted as everything was black or white when I was there, because I was just a kid. And so now coming back at it with, having lived life and gained more understanding, it was interesting to work through those characters and with this kind of empathy that I wasn't capable of when I was young. And so, yeah, that's always really interesting to work through.
It's definitely born out of lockdown. It might not have been written had it not been the case for a bit of quiet and Brandon Flowers facing silence for the first time in a long time. Here's what happened when we caught up via Zoom at the back end of last week. When you were there kind of in your early teenage years, did you know that you were going to go down that path of music, and or was it did you dream of the bright lights, or what were you doing when you were there as an early teenager?
No, I did not. No one in my family was creative,
right?
Or they are, and it was never. There was no environment for them to explore it, and so no, it was never that. I loved music, and that was the time when I fell in love with a lot of music from your neck of the woods. And so that was something that was able to sort of transport me out of this town where I felt like I didn't belong. And so that whole classic thing, I was listening to New Order and the Smiths and Depeche Mode and The Cure, and it was so exotic to me almost.
Yeah, right.
And so that was, I would sing along, but I never thought I'd be a singer. Yeah.
And now you're going to take these out on the road. You're going to take Implosion the Mirage. It must be so nice to feel you can take that out and play that live, as well as the new record, Pressure Machine. So how are you going to deal with the set list, Brandon? That's a lot of stuff to squeeze in, isn't it? With all the hits too, right?
Well, one of the beauties of the new record, it's very, it's maybe that's not meant for a stadium. and there may be a couple moments, and we're going to try to work that out once we finally get to rehearsing, which songs may work live in a setting that large. But, we still haven't played My Own Soul's Warning and Caution and Dying Breed and Blowback from the last record to anybody yet. And so those were just kind of tailor-made for that situation.
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to lean more on Imploding the Mirage, and then we'll see what happens from the Pressure Machine.
Yeah, for sure. And how are all your incredible... I always think whenever I see you live, I'm like, look at this suit and these jackets. They're all just collecting dust in some beautiful wardrobe somewhere. Unless you're ready to get those back on again.
Yeah. I need to figure out a situation where somebody mentioned maybe I could auction things off and give it to charity, because I got no use for a lot of it anymore. But yeah, I need some new duds maybe.
Oh yeah, man. Well, there's loads of amazing charities, like with the musicians as well, like Choose Love and stuff like that. But yeah, no, amazing. Listen, we're so excited by this new record and to see both of them live on the road. I really can't tell you how much the UK is looking forward to your return. We really, really are. Can't wait.
We can't wait. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. We'll speak soon. Okay. Take care.
Bye.